From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken says there is no more business as usual dealing with Hamas. Blinken is on a tour of the Middle East to negotiate a ceasefire and prevent a wider spillover in the region. It comes as Israel has ordered 1.1 million people in Gaza to head south ahead of an imminent ground offensive. Speaking from Qatar, Blinken says the US is in constant communication with Israel to mitigate civilian casualties in Gaza.
Many Palestinian families in Gaza are suffering through no fault of their own, and the Palestinian civilians have lost their lives. We mourn the loss of every innocent life, Israeli, Palestinian, Jew, Christian, Muslim, as well as civilians of every faith and every nationality who've been killed.
And thousands of Gaza civilians are heeding Israeli orders and fleeing to the south. Gaza resident Mohammed told BBC this war happened to their grandfathers and now it's happening to them.
It raises the ghosts of the past.
The BBC has confirmed 2 of its journalists were assaulted and held at gunpoint by police in Tel Aviv. A spokesperson for the broadcaster says they were dragged from their vehicle, searched and pushed against the wall as they were making their way to their hotel. It's election day with just hours left for Kiwis to get out and vote. The Electoral Commission says results will be released from 7 tonight, at which point a political media blackout also ends. Chief Electoral Officer Carla Kane explains how the day will play out.
From about 9 a.m. we start counting in a centralised place in each electorate all the advance votes. And then after 7 p.m. we start counting the votes that were cast that day.
Polling booths have started to open for millions of Australians to vote in the first referendum in years as the nation makes an historic decision on whether to enshrine an Indigenous voice in the Constitution. But the latest polls across the ditch show around 59% are likely to vote no, compared to 41% for yes. Political scientist Dominic O'Sullivan says a year ago, polls showed the yes vote had around 60% support. That's news. In sport, Ireland are taking pride in the 17 matches unbeaten that have taken them to the Rugby World Cup quarter-finals as world number 1. The meeting with the All Blacks tomorrow morning in Paris will see either the top team or the 2-time champions heading home with 2 weeks left. Assistant Ireland coach Mike Catt says the run gives them belief.
We're massively proud of it. It doesn't mean that you're going to win a game. But, we know if we put in a performance and what we've achieved over the past sort of 2-3 years, then, you give yourself a chance. And ultimately, that's what international rugby is about.
Black Caps batter Daryl Mitchell's keeping team strategy under wraps after an explosive display in their 8-wicket win over Bangladesh at the Cricket World Cup in India. Mitchell top scored with an unbeaten 89 from 67 balls, including 4 sixes in New Zealand's chase of 246. That's sport. I'm Sandy Hodge.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.